I'm Lorraine, and today we're going to do a try on. I want to share with you 3 foundations that I've been using that I really love. They're all super affordable, and I think they're all better than some of the high-end ones I've tried. I have a drawer full of high-end foundation, and if you'd like to see my 3 favorites from my drawer, let me know. But I try so many for comparison reasons, and these 3 that I've found that are super affordable are 3 of my favorite that I think look great on my combination skin. I'm 60 now. I have fine lines and wrinkles like everyone else. Every once in a while, I get a red mark or some kind of reaction from a product I'm trying, a food I eat, whatever. I just have very sensitive skin. So one day my skin will be perfectly clear, and the next day I'll have some red marks to cover up. So I want to share with you these 3 foundations, also 3 concealers that I'm loving. It's often difficult to find a concealer as we get older. It gets cakey in the under eyes, makes the lines look worse. So these are 3 that I use. One is a little more expensive, the Fiera. The rest are drugstore price. And I want to share these with you because I think they work better than most of the high-end that I've tried. Just to let you know what I've already got on, I have no sunscreen on because I didn't want to wear sunscreen for this video because I wanted to show you how these 3 foundations would look on bare skin, and not every woman wears sunscreen. So I'm going to put it on my bare face. I'm going to wash off each one of these foundations and come back and show you the next one. So my skin may get more red as the video goes on. Also, I wanted you to know that I've put on eye makeup. I'm wearing the new Natasha Denona eyeshadow. I put in a little brow product, mascara, and the lips I'm wearing is one of your favorites from the videos I've done, number 802 from Revlon. This is called Daylight Delight, and so many of you said you like this the best, and I thought it looked really good with this top that I just bought. So that's basically what I've got on. I haven't put any sunscreen, like I said. I didn't even really put on my skincare today because I'm going to be washing my face so much. So when I'm all done, I'll put it on. As you can see, I've got a little redness going here, probably from a product that I was trying that didn't agree with me. But this is how my skin looks at 60. Let's start with one of my favorite foundations I've tried this year. Again, these are my top 3 that I'm just crazy about. And these are the Nude Drop Tinted Serum from Catrice. I even went out and bought a deeper shade because I thought the one I bought was a little light for me. This is the shade N40. And I am a neutral skin tone. I have combination skin. I get dry patches sometimes a little bit around the eyes, so I have to keep eye cream on all the time. But otherwise, my T-zone is still pretty oily at this point. So what I love about this, it's super thin and very buildable. It goes on. I'm going to take my wedge sponge and spray it with a little water, especially since my skin is just very dry right now. I don't have skincare on, and just dab some on, and we're going to apply this very softly. Look at how already this is covering up the redness. And what I love about this too is I don't really have dark circles that are too intense. So sometimes I can just get away, if I've had a good night's sleep, with just putting the foundation right up under the eye. So what I like about this is when I'm wearing it, people don't think I have foundation on. They think I just have good skin because this lets my own skin shine through. I've worn this. I wore it to school a lot at the end of the school year. And what I would see is at the end of the day, it was not collecting in my fine lines and in my pores. It wasn't sitting in them like some foundations do. So I just think this is beautiful. Let's go ahead and clip the bangs back. I got these new clips at Ulta. I'll link them. They are so cute, and I'm finding so many uses for them. Even though they're tiny, they hold a lot of hair. And my hair is sort of very fine. I have a lot of it, but it's very baby fine. And the hair doesn't slip out of the clip. So that's a win. Let me show you up close. I still can see the capillaries here. Now, I could add more foundation, but I might need to add too much to cover that up. So what I like to do is take my concealer. Now, a concealer I found recently that I love is from the company Golden Rose. And everything will be linked in the description of the video. I bought 2 shades because I wasn't sure exactly how they would work for covering up capillaries around the nose. So I'm going to use the deeper shade because it's more my skin tone. And this is long wearing. It has vitamin E. I love the ease of these sticks. So I'm just going to draw right over the lines. And that's what a lot of makeup artists, I've seen them do, is not make such a big patch of the concealer, but just draw over the line you're trying to cover up. And I'm going to use my Revlon, my little jelly tool here, because this replicates a finger. Sometimes just the way our face is shaped, it's hard to get in certain areas. And this part of my nose, it's hard to get to even with my pinky finger. So I find this is so helpful. Now I'm going to take the lighter shade of concealer and go in the inner and outer corner of my eyes just to brighten up. I get a little dark in here, and then I like to do the edge because that just sort of lifts the eye. Now again, when I've worn this, it is long wearing, and another bonus is if I feel some of it is worn off after hours, I can just go right on top of my skin without it looking horrible or needing to wash my face and start over. So I'm just cleaning off my tool. That's another advantage of this. When your hands are messy, and in this case, I don't have a sink in front of me, it's hard to stay clean. I usually keep wipes and all that near me. This wipes off so easily, and then you can just get restarted. So I'm just tapping like I would with my finger into the eyes. And this is really brightening this area up quite a bit. If you look at here compared with, I know I have the product laying there, but I notice quite a difference. I like to put the product on and let it sit on the skin a little bit so my own body heat will warm it up. It moves more easily. So this is one that can sit on the skin for a little bit before you work with it. And I like that too. I don't have to feel like I'm in a rush or it dries down too quickly. Now, I still see marks here on my face, pigmentation and redness. So I'm going to go in with a little more of the Catrice, and then we can always go with the Golden Rose and just spot conceal if we need to. I won't be applying blush on my cheeks or anything today because the focus of this is just the complexion products, just the concealer and the foundation. Now that looks pretty good, but I'm going to go in and spot conceal with the deeper shade. Yeah, that looks so much better. I am just barely tapping with this, barely touching, and it's really doing the job. So let's take a final look at the Catrice serum, the tinted serum paired with the Golden Rose concealer. What I'm noticing too is there's no collection in the forehead and the lines. That's where most of my texture is. It dries down. So many of these serums are so dewy that they just don't seem to dry, and then you start getting movement into lines and wrinkles. So this one does dry down to where you can put your blush on top and your bronzer, anything you want, and it's not going to get into your wrinkles. If you're enjoying this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And also, if you're not subscribed, I'd love to have you here. So I'm going to go wash my face and we'll move on to the second foundation. My second foundation has become a quick favorite because I think it competes with high-end, and it's from Revolution, which surprised me. I have rarely liked Revolution products, but they have come out with some great ones lately, and this Skin Silk foundation is probably the best product from them I've ever tried. It is beautiful on the skin. It feels like the MAC Face and Body. It's very thin. So let's get started with that. Now, I bought a lighter shade and showed it in a video recently. I purchased C7. I felt like it was my skin tone exactly, but it looked a little light. I like to go a little darker with foundation. So I bought F10. So we're going to try this. I've never tried this shade before. This has a beautiful pump bottle. Love that too. So you can see how thin it is. It really is like the Dior Face and Body, MAC Face and Body, that same thinness. So I've wet my little wedge sponge, and let's go in and see. Oh, and this is covering up that redness very nicely. And you can see I'm much more red now after washing my face and taking off the other foundation. So as we go through the video, I'm definitely going to get more red. But I really like this shade now. It gives me a little bit of color. One thing that I've noticed is when I go with a foundation that's a little deeper than my skin tone and blend it really well into the neck, I just love it. I think it looks so much healthier, gives a lot more color to my face, makes me look like I've been outside. And again, just like with the Catrice, I'm still seeing some of my redness. So what I would recommend is patting. I'm sort of patting instead of sweeping across the face, and that's pushing it in to those areas a little bit better. So already, let's take a look. I haven't done my forehead yet, but look at this cheek compared with this one. I just really love the look of this. It's just so sheer. And this is another one that's buildable. I have tried foundations where if you put any more on top, it just instantly looks cakey, and this doesn't. And I also can go under my eyes with this, although I am going to show you a really great concealer. This is another one that doesn't get into my forehead lines and wrinkles. That's a deal breaker for me. If I try a foundation, whether it's high-end or affordable, and at the end of the day, it's sitting in my forehead lines, then it's just going to be gone. I'm not going to want to wear it. I am loving this color. And I'm just going to bring it down on the neck. I don't have a lot of neck to cover with this turtleneck on today. I sort of like that, not having to blend into the chest or the neck. It's a nice thing about a turtleneck. So without any concealer, let's take a look at how it looks. I just love it. I can still see a little bit of my pigmentation. So I don't have the right shade of concealer to cover that. The one I bought to show you for the under eyes is lighter. So I'm going to repurchase the same concealer in C10, and that will cover up those areas. But in a minute, we'll just go back with the foundation and see if that helps. This is the IRL Revolution's Filter Finish Concealer, and I have it in C7, and they call it a soft matte. And I would agree with that. So I'm going to put this in the inner and outer corner. And then we'll let it sit a minute and I'll start blending. This is really nice, a doe foot applicator that comes to a point, makes it easy to get into areas. So I like the packaging a lot of this. And I'm starting with a clean blender. And I'm just going to start pouncing like I would with my finger. I've worn this quite a few times. And again, this is one that seems to work for my fine lines and wrinkles. Now, one thing I didn't mention, I really still love using my Peeper Keeper underneath, and that helps even more with keeping the look smooth, but I know a lot of you don't have that, so I wanted to show today just how it would look on my bare skin. But my preference is to use this because it really adds a lot of hydration to the under eyes. I think it works beautifully. I've tried some high-end like the Lancome, and that was so drying on me. This is not drying. You get a lot of product. It's super affordable. And so let's take the hair down and we'll look sort of at the final look. And as I said, we can just take the foundation. I'll put a little drop here and just go right over these areas that could use a little more coverage. And that just took it right away. Again, I'm putting a little more in the corner of my nose where I needed a little bit more. Now, if you ever feel like you have too much on, you can always take a clean brush. Let me find one that, this one's really nice from Refer. It's a 24. And just sort of do circles and blend. And you'll see like some product coming off. That's usually when we have a little too much. I don't want to blend too much in that area. I want that to stay and dry, so I'll sort of work around that. And you can see the product that came off, so that's product that might later collect in my fine line, so I really like doing this at the end. Okay, so this is the Skin Silk from Revolution. I'm going to go wash my face, and then I have one that's a little more full coverage for you. I love so many e.l.f. products, but I've never been a huge fan of their foundation. I've always found others at the drugstore that I like more. But this one, their Soft Glam, is amazing. I have been loving it. It offers a little more full coverage than the other two that I shared with you. And I know many women my age, we have hyperpigmentation, marks on our skin. Some of us still even struggle with acne or, like me, reactions to things. We have sensitive skin at our age, so we never know what our skin is going to be the next day. So I am just loving this for those days when I need a little more coverage. So let's go ahead and we're going to wet the sponge and go in with the foundation. Let me know if you've tried it already. It's so affordable. I think it's around $8. I don't know. It's really inexpensive. You can see on my hand that this is a lot thicker than the other two, yet this can be thinned out and you can build it. So it's not going to look cakey on your skin, and that's the part that really surprised me. So I'm going to go right in where I have this redness. It just keeps getting redder as I wash my face, but this will be the last time till I take off my makeup tonight. So I'm already seeing, look at how that redness has just disappeared. So those of you that have rosacea or sensitive skin like mine, and you get these pop-ups every once in a while, could be something I ate, anything. This really helps to have a product like this around for those days. You never know when it's going to happen. I've also not had a lot of luck with finding the right shade in e.l.f. products when it comes to complexion products, but this was just perfect for me. This was medium neutral, and I just can't believe what a great shade this is. If you told me this was high end and had it in fancy packaging, I would believe you. I really would. That's how great this is. And I saw Patty, Rockstar Mom, putting this on. She is, I think, 81 now, and it looked gorgeous on her skin. It was just so beautiful. I know my mom loved Patty. She used to watch her channel. Like the other two, this does not get into my fine lines and it dries down. I love that. I do not like these products that stay so dewy on the skin that right now, if I were to go outside, I might get sand or a fly stuck to my skin. The other day, my husband and I went for a walk and I had lip gloss on and some kind of bug stuck to my lip gloss. So I'm thinking this is the time of year when I need to go for more matte products. So let's take a look at the e.l.f. Soft Glam. I think this is amazing. e.l.f., you hit a home run with this one. Now let's talk about the concealer I decided to pair with this, and it's the Fiera Luxury Concealer. This is the priciest product in the video, but you use so little, it would last you at least, I would think, a year. For me, I have so many concealers, I'll end up throwing it away full of product because I just can't use it up enough. But this is such a great concealer. I saw it all over Instagram, so I purchased it. I was very curious to see if it lived up to all the hype it was getting, and it did. This is the shade Neutral Beige. It's got skincare in it, hyaluronic acid, and it's very different at first because just like the e.l.f. looking thicker, look at how thick this is. It's not moving a bit. And it reminds me a lot of the thickness you see in the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eyes. So the trick of this is warming it up in your fingers. You've really got to warm it up and thin it out. That amount of product was probably enough for me to cover my under eyes 5 times. Way too much product. But I'm going to thin it out and then stamp it in my eyes here. Now they say to use your finger, and I've done that. But again, I love this tool. So I'm going to use the tool to apply it. And plus, that's what I did for the others. So I want to use the same thing for each one. And I'm just stamping, and it goes right into the skin. Now, what I love about this, if you have dry under eyes, then this is going to be a product you would be interested in. It keeps your under eyes very smooth and very moisturized. I never feel like my under eyes are dry with this concealer, even without anything underneath. I remember using this in the winter time when my under eyes were very dry due to weather, and it just made such a difference. And I even love this as the day goes on. It just keeps sinking into the skin and looking more natural. It looks its most natural after an hour or two, which is great. Yet you still get coverage. It doesn't disappear. So I am just loving this. In the comments, I would love to hear which foundation was your favorite, number 1, 2, or 3. You can just put a number. The first was the Catrice, the second was the Revolution, and third was the e.l.f. And I'd love to hear what concealer you like the best. Tell me too if you've tried any of these, if you're using any of them, and what your experience has been. It'll help other ladies, especially if you list what type of skin you have. Do you have dry? Do you have just normal skin, or like me, combo and oily T-zone? Some of you, I'm sure, even still have oily skin. My dad is 82, almost 83. He still tells me all the time how oily his skin is. So oily skin doesn't disappear as we age. Many of us still struggle with that. That can be a struggle too. So let me know in the comments. Again, everything's listed in the description of the video. Thank you so much for watching, for your kindness, your encouragement. I appreciate you so much. I love you, and I hope you have a blessed week.